Facebook, it's Anthony, and I am so excited to be here with the boys from Queer Eye. Karamo, Bobby, Jonathan, Antoni, and Tam. Hi guys, how are y'all?
Hi.
Okay, so now the world has seen your show.
Yeah.
What is going through your mind?
We're excited. This has been a big moment. We have been working on this show for almost a year now.
Yeah,
and
a year this month.
Yeah, a year this month. And so it's like in our heads, working every day, and we just wanted so badly for the world to see the work and our community to see the work. That was the biggest thing. We wanted them to be proud of us.
And what has it been? What is it like though to see? Because from what I've seen, it's got a lot of heart to it. I mean, there may be some tears, but what does that mean? How important was that for you to continue to make the show something that's not just a makeover show?
To me, I think it was really important to show something different. The original show back then, people just saw gays or the way they were okay with seeing gays was, oh, there's 5 guys that come in and they make everything pretty, but they're not real. But we wanted them to see us for who we were. Fathers, husbands. And to really get to know us and our heroes. So it was very important to us to really tackle issues that made us more human to everyone.
Who's the father?
Me.
Oh, that's right!
You know that. You know my kids.
I forgot! Yeah.
I'm a single dad.
I
Raising
love
my
that.
boys alone.
No, I think you had a really good quote that I like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Johnny
wait.
has cats too.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. I have 2 dogs, so
Yes,
we're all dads.
exactly.
We're all dads.
Yeah.
I think I kind of didn't, I only tackled things that I would, chat about anyway. I didn't try to be anything that
Right.
I'm not. You just kind of went there and be who, I think, not that I'm speaking for everyone, but for myself, I can definitely say that, I didn't really try to be anything.
Yeah.
Just, that's, how I talk to people and do
And there's
stuff.
a lot of personality there
There's a
already,
lot.
which I
It's
like.
exhausting.
A lot of hair tossing.
Yeah, so much.
You have it up today, though.
I did, honestly, on by day 4 of doing, she could not handle it. My hair is going up.
But in all seriousness, you had a really good quote about this show. You said, this time that we're fighting for acceptance. What was the exact quote? I want to get it right.
The original show was fighting for tolerance, our fight is for acceptance. And it's really important for me that there is a distinction. As Bobby said, the original show, America wasn't ready for gays to be fully gay. We just wanted to see the surface level. Yes.
Sometimes I'm not sure if it was America that wasn't ready for it. It was network television
Maybe.
that wasn't ready.
Maybe.
It was
That's
also a
who
new
knows.
medium as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Maybe. But now they are, and we've got other countries now involved. This is a global show, so now it really is about accepting us as your kin, as your family, as your friends, your lovers, your brothers, whatever. We want you to see us as just every other member of the community.
How excited are you for this to be on Netflix? Because you mentioned network TV, and I think Netflix really gives the show an even bigger opportunity to be progressive and groundbreaking.
What Netflix is this international platform that's available in all these different countries. And you
190.
kind of see that just looking at this. There's a bit of a UN situation in terms of skin tone and heritage going on. And that's reflected in the show as well. And you see that. I mean, we also had the luxury of spending an entire week with these heroes. Heroes are what we call these people that we're helping. And the original iteration, it was just one day. So our personalities get to come out. We sort of intersect with our verticals, and sort of there's a lot of crossover.
And
So it's a very dynamic conversation that goes on. It's not one-sided.
Yeah, and I think when we're talking about Netflix as well, there's still a lot of places that do not have the privilege that we have here in America. And even though there's still a lot of things that we need to work on here in America, especially when it comes to LGBTQI rights, I think the fact that we're now a beacon of light for so many people in countries who are felt hopeless and felt like they could not, they weren't seen and they weren't supported.
We're getting messages from all over the world, from gays in Pakistan and Poland and Turkey. So happy the show's on there. I read an article today that was the first, Bermuda became the first country that rolled back same-sex marriage rights.
Yeah.
They've rolled it back from marriage to civil union to appease a hard right majority in their government. So bye girl, we're definitely gonna keep talking about it. I'm not going to your turquoise beaches. Was tourism a thing there?
Yeah,
I thought it was.
Mhm.
I thought it was a thing.
The amount of times the amount of times people have asked, the amount of times we've been asked, actually a lot of the time by the gay community, why are you back? Like, it makes no sense. We took care of business in 2003.
No.
Like, really? Are we so arrogant to believe that just because America moved forward, the world is like so good?
Well,
now? We're taking
And it's
care
parts
it?
of America.
I find that those
Yeah.
comments come from the coastal gays.
It's,
like,
yes.
life is great. No, have you been to Missouri, where I'm from? It's not.
Have you
Mhm.
been to the Middle East? Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it's not like we're all good. So I'm hoping that this really does help people in the parts of the country and the rest of the world that don't have the exposure that the coastal gays have.
Totally.
And-
Where were some of the places, because I know you go in Atlanta, where are some of the places that we're going to see you guys, for anyone that's kind of not binging it and kind of just taking it 1 week at a time like I like to do?
Well, it's all in Georgia.
Got it.
Atlanta's our home base, but we actually travel about 2 hours, 3 hours out of Atlanta to these little small towns. And something that's interesting that's been overshadowed is that in at least four of the episodes, the heroes that we work with at the end of the episode in their wrap-up say, a week ago, gay people wouldn't have been welcome here. This was a culture that didn't
Unbelievable.
support gay people. So to hear it out of their mouths on the show lets you know that there are still people right here in our own country that are still like, I don't see you guys.
Yeah.
But it's changing the concept of the word and the interpretation of it. Like, you look at Tom Jackson, the first episode, he was, sharing with us at the end that it was how incredible it was that 5 gay guys just came in and showed him so much kindness and paid attention to him.
Right.
He took a concept of gay, something that was so abstract, and it was personalized by the end of that week into five individuals, like guys who just came in and helped in all their various departments.
Yeah.
Like, that's changing something.
It
And
is.
You change that for one person, and people watch that and they relate to it in a very personal way.
And hopefully, even though we only got to help a certain amount of men, save 8 men, hopefully that will have a knock-on effect. Hopefully they'll tell their brother, their best friend, hey, you know what, the gays aren't that bad.
Yeah.
We're great.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're great.
And even like more largely with Tom's episode, it's like here was someone who was like numbing out like every day, like having these same patterns. He's like drinking redneck margaritas every day. And so I think that it's like everything that we did was like, how can you lean into your food? How can you lean into self-care? How can you lean into the lupus and try to take care of yourself? So it's like the underlying factor of this is I think a lot of times we're taught that as men, you're not supposed to be interested in self-care, and that's somehow like feminine, or it's like I remember one time getting ready, my stepdad was like, I'm so sick of all this primping, like what are you doing? Like get ready, like we gotta go. And it's like, what is that idea? And I think that self-care, it's cute. It's not, it doesn't have a gender role.
And I think every single one of these guys literally told us this. They expected us to come in and rip them apart.
Like tell them everything.
Tell
This
them
is wrong.
everything
This is
wrong.
bad. This is
This is what
ugly.
you're doing. But really, our goal was to go in there and find everything that was right about them and help them see that. Because most of the time, they didn't
I
see
love
that.
that.
They really were great guys. They just needed a little bit of this.
A
and
little
bit of
zhuzh.
that. Yeah, a little zhuzh.
That's why you were crying last night at the premiere. Don't think I didn't catch those tears falling.
That episode, so I believe that's episode 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
To see someone at the start of the episode, I don't want to give too much away, but, struggling with, accepting themselves and coming out to important people in their lives. What was it like for you to, be a part of that journey for someone like that?
Oh, wow. That was a very special episode for all of us because we've all had our own coming out journey. And to be able to help someone on the big screen and help people see that journey was special. But for me, especially being a black man from the South, with another black man from the South, and knowing the pressures, especially in our community, that we experience, and to help him through those. I think I've been getting messages on social media from African Americans and Latinos who were like, thank you. You spoke truth to what we go through, but it just is not about communities of colors. It's universal. We all have a journey, and if you can get over their fears, find your support system, your family, you'll be okay.
And AJ facilitated that for us as well by talking about, at the beginning of the opening of the scene when he's telling you that he doesn't want to look too feminine.
Yeah.
In
I was just
clothing.
gonna bring that
But
up,
You know
yes.
what? That took a lot of balls to say that
Yes.
in an honest way and without any fear of being judged. And it forced us to talk about it. I've never
Because
talked
that's
about
so,
my
love
sex
that
that's so
you
many gay
made
men
them stop
experience
talking
that.
about that.
They're
Yeah.
like, I can't be too feminine. Like, for me, I love a good face of beat. I love makeup, and everyone knows it.
I love contour.
I love it. I love it.
all now.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
have that
I love it.
conversation.
But
Talk-
but like Jonathan just said, those are something that like we have now gotten this concept that that's for women.
Yeah.
That's feminine. And if you do that, then all of a sudden it takes away from your masculinity or whatever perceived masculinity. And I'm like, gay people, we have to get over this.
Yes.
The heteronormative,
For me,
concepts.
that was the hardest part of that episode, is trying to convince somebody who's struggling to come out that they don't have, there's no right way. And I'm sure we all felt that pressure, thinking we've got to be a certain kind of way to hide it or then to come out.
Yeah.
There is no right way. And I think that was the worrying thing, is that if he's thinking this, how many more people are thinking this? There's only one right way of being
Absolutely.
gay. And that was really worrying. So I wanted him to really understand, if you're feminine, be feminine. I'm feminine.
Do
often.
you.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think it diminishes who I am. I've just got some feminine traits. It doesn't mean I'm not still the person I am.
Know that it's okay to do it without any shame.
But yeah, but I just think that, and there is just such, part of why he was timid to dress is because there is such a huge amount of femme shaming in our community. Like,
Yeah.
I get femme shamed, like, I can't even tell you, like, and like the amount of like the accusations, it's like not true to who you are, that you're putting this thing on, and it's like, I just think as a community, it's so important for us to like be open with one another and accept people for who they are and meet them where they are.
Yes.
And not, and that's, I think but it's like who we are is like, that's why so much people, or any negativity of the show coming back was around like, well, why do we need this? Like, who are you to be telling people who they need to be? It's like, who are you to tell me who I am?
Exactly. Let's talk about your categories or your expertise. Okay, so Tan, your fashion and style. Anthony, your food and wine. Jonathan, your grooming. Bobby, your design. And Karamo, your culture.
Yes.
When was it at what point in your life did you like become kind of an expert in that category?
You know, even from the age of 2 or 3.
You're like, I was born
listen,
with the Gucci. No, yeah.
I no joke. At the age of 5, and I'm never telling this. At the age of 5, we have something called Eid, which is kind of like our version of Christmas. I know you know. But yeah, I told my dad I want a black suit made. I want it to have gold buttons. He was like, what the heck? I was literally dictating what I wanted to look like. I was 5. So yeah, from a very early age, I just thought this is where I want my life to go.
I always thought it was a lot later, but I realized recently I did a post of a slow roasted garlic with like the head cut off. It's like a cross section, and I thought I came up with this just a few years ago. And my friend Shabana from junior high messaged me, and she was like, Anthony, I remember you were in 8th grade because my parents would travel a lot, and you would host these dinner parties.
I love that.
And you would like roast chicken with like raspberry barbecue sauce, and you would make the slow roasted garlic because it was your equivalent of cookies in the oven in the foil. Yeah. And it's interesting how that seed has always been there.
Mm-hmm. I've been makeovering my cousins, my sister, anyone that would let me. I definitely got a topsy tail stuck in my stepsister's hair for like 7 hours. that was infamously called the 3-pack topsy tail because it took my aunt 3 packs of cigarettes while getting it out of her hair.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was like in like 93. I was like 6. So yeah, I always wanted to do hair.
I love how he always throws in how young he was in the 90s.
Yeah, he likes to remind us all the baby,
little millennial baby. I can't help it.
For me, God, growing up, I didn't even really know that design was a thing. I lived in Missouri. It's just everything was functional. But I used to move the furniture around in our house all the time. It would drive my parents nuts. But I think the moment that I really had an epiphany that, this is something I want to do is years ago at Target when they had that Michael Graves collection. And it was the tea kettles and the spatulas. And it was like, things can be cool and functional. And that's what kind of put me on the trajectory to do design.
Amazing.
Yeah, for me, culture is a little bit more so this time around life coaching. And I think for me, that's kind of started just being the youngest of older sisters. I always had to be a really good listener because they would all come home and tell me their issues. And then I would have to listen and sort of process it and digest it back to them. And then when I started working in social services, it just started being, again, what I would do. I would listen to people and help them figure out what is going on. And then when Mama O, as I like to call her, Oprah Winfrey, gave me my first hosting job. Thank you, Oprah. I then was at the school of training of how to listen and help people grow. And so I guess it's just inherently been in me forever.
To add to what Karamo was saying and to give you a compliment, is that when we started to work on the plan for the show and what we all wanted to do in every episode, Karamo was the one who said, I want to take this direction. It could have taken any direction.
Right.
It's the culture category and it's a little more difficult to define. He's defined this himself and he was the one who said, this is how I want to power through this and this is what I think is important to this team.
He's made it his own, just like we do with our lives.
Before we wrap up, we have to talk about the OG Fab Five.
Yes.
Who I know have been.
Yeah.
Who when we called them the OGs originally, they thought we were calling them the
Oh,
old guys.
but we were.
And
I
Kyle was
know.
like, he's like, this is hard enough without you guys calling us the old guys. We're like, no.
That was Carson.
Kyan.
No, Kyan.
Kyan,
We're like,
okay,
no, original gangsters. And they're like, oh, we like that.
Now we like
Yeah.
that.
But then they seemed older by asking if the OGs were
I know.
old guys.
I'm like, now we're gonna call you the old guys because you don't know what that
Yeah.
means.
What a crazy thing for them to kind of see, you know, their legacy live on with you guys. What was your experience like with them? Because I know that they were very hands-on with you guys and supportive.
Oh my gosh, Jay was my Kiki buddy because we both lived here in Los Angeles. And
Yeah.
so I kind of wanted to be like, I'm taking over your
You
category,
know what
but
Kiki
couldn't.
means now?
We know what.
Oh yeah,
We
Let's
learned.
have
We
a
learned last
Kiki.
week what a Kiki is.
Yeah, we teach them gay terminology.
Let's have a Kiki. Yeah.
And so it was
Sister,
just great.
sister song.
Don't
Yes.
judge
But for
us.
me
Don't
being
you
younger,
judge us.
he was one of the
That's
first
not me,
people
I'm
of
right.
color that I had seen on television. So I was on Real World in 2004, and they came
Yep.
out in 2003. And to see Jay be such a proud Puerto Rican man was powerful for me because even though he wasn't black, it was like I understand him, I get him, I know what he's going through, and I see him. And so I just love that now I'm stepping into that spot and doing the same thing for other people.
No, God, yes.
For me,
Show you
I've
something.
actually known Tom for years. Us being in the same industry, we do a lot of events together. Our offices actually used to be in the same building. So to be able to fill the shoes of, well, try to fill the shoes of somebody that I've looked up to for so long, not just as a out and proud gay man, but as somebody who is so successful in the industry that I strive to be successful in, it's like a dream. Yeah.
Yesterday, when the premiere wrapped, like when the credits went and the lights came on, Kyan was sitting like the row in front of me and like 5 chairs to the left. And as soon as the lights came on, like my eyes went straight to him and his went straight to me, and he was just like, I loved it. And I was like, the lights literally just came on and Kyan's like right there, and then here I am, and then he just said that he loved it, and then I made a really cute Insta story about it, but I didn't post it yet, so watch out for that. And, it's gonna be
He's
cute.
rocking the long hair now too.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
like literally
right, they
look
look
like
like
we're like
twins.
fraternal twins. It's cute. It's really
Well,
cute.
One of the things, I don't have to interrupt to go back, but when Jay came up to me after and he's like, you know, I didn't know what to expect. And I have to say that it wasn't like Queer Eye. And at first I was like, oh, he's like, but I'm so happy.
Yes.
He's like, you know, I wondered if you guys were gonna come in and just literally try to do exactly what we did. He's like, but you really made it your own. And I love that about it. He's like, it's still Queer Eye, but it's almost a completely different show.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yes.
it really meant a lot to hear him say, I love what you did with it.
Yeah. Ted hasn't been available for a lot of the press. He's super busy
Yes.
in New York, but
Very
he's had
sought after.
such
Ted.
an important part of my
Yeah.
life. He's been my mentor for how many years. I had the pleasure of working for him.
And your navies.
And my Navy. He
Yeah.
lives literally right across the street from me, and he's been.
You ever
so-
run over and be like, so what should I do now? Like, you know?
But I check in with him, and
Yeah,
he sends me
yeah.
articles, and we talk. And I mean, I remember watching when my sisters would watch the show, and I still didn't identify as gay, and I felt shamey looking at Queer Eye and seeing this super intelligent guy, this journalist, talk about food and exploring the marketplace and the food world of New York, and not knowing that I was going to follow in those footsteps. It's just it's really serendipitous, and
That's amazing.
yeah,
I love that.
He's watching all of us.
Carson, I was always fascinated by because he's such a personality, and I felt so much pressure to try and compete. And he's the only one who can because he's so damn funny, and I never professed to be
Not
funny.
that it's a competition.
No, it's not.
or
It's not.
anything.
It's not. No, it's not. But I felt the pressure to be funny, but I'm not naturally funny. He's the funny one.
I think
so,
you're super naturally funny.
Well,
you make me
thank
lols
you.
all the time.
Thanks, my love. But so
Especially when you walk like that little baby that interrupted her
Yeah.
dad and that.
We love that.
So
Wow.
that was the most pressure I felt because I didn't feel it on the style side because we're so different.
Yeah.
However, he came over last night. It was the first time we'd seen an episode, and he was lovely. And he said, "I'm so proud of you. It's so different from what we did on the original show. Even the style aspect is so different, but it's so much more accessible now." And he said, "Just know you've always got a friend in me. You can DM me whenever you want." So it was lovely. They've been so.
They
It's
couldn't
funny,
be-
you walked
they
over to
couldn't
me
be
and
more
poured wine on me.
I gotta tell you. I gotta tell you. I grabbed my
Look
phone.
at this.
I grabbed my phone because the OGs
Yes.
posted this, and it's so funny because we were all in the same
was not
colors.
planned.
This was not planned.
That's unbelievable.
That was not planned.
It
at
was
all.
like I don't know if they can see, and I will get it to you so
Yes.
it's on the screen.
Go
but
to
I was
Kyan's
like,
Instagram to look at it.
That is wow.
It's
The
like
colors
we-
are crazy.
like we are exactly the same, but different.
Right.
Different.
and thank you all for wearing the Together
course.
Movement
Thank
pin
you
last
for
night.
supporting.
Yes.
Anywhere we can show up for anybody that,
Yes.
is that we're still being discriminated against, honey, we're there for.
I was
We're
saying to
hands.
your colleague, I represent like 4 of those things that it represents. So it felt
It's-
real
it's
good
meant
for me.
for you.
Yes, thanks for
Um,
that.
You can
Well-
take it.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Make sure you check out all the episodes are streaming right now on Netflix. It's amazing. It's sweet. It's heartfelt. So check it out. All of these guys, thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks for watching,
Bye.
guys.